Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And of course, I hope everyone out there is having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there. So as we really look at a few things, one of the big things that everyone has been focused on since around 2022 has been Brics. What are they doing? Are they creating this new payment system? Are they going to dethrone the dollar? Are they going to kill the dollar? And the best way that I could describe this entire process is it's a death by 1,000 cuts. How does this work? Well, everyone is expecting the dollar to fall overnight. It's going to be dethroned. It's done. It's dead. But the problem is that everyone is failing to realize that the dollar has been dying for decades now. The US has printed us into oblivion. And when we look at the dollar today, the value of it has drastically fallen. And it has been fallen ever since the inception of the Fed. And it will only continue to do so considering the fact that the Treasury wants to continue to print a massive amount of money. They want to target $50 trillion by 2030. So at the end of the day, when we look at these Brics nations and when we look at nations outside of the US as well, they're all looking at crypto and blockchain and they're looking at it and they're saying, this is interesting because, now for the first time in history, we have an opportunity to tap into this new age technology and ultimately revolutionize our entire monetary system and move away from the US dollar. We no longer need a reserve currency. And that's exactly what the Brics are doing here. Even though they are announcing this creation of an independent payment system based on cryptocurrency and blockchain, they've been focused on this for a while. Back in 2022, we were reporting on the fact that the Brics were actually moving towards crypto. They wanted to tap into crypto for cross-border trade. They wanted to tap into blockchain because of the efficiencies. Now it's a big headline article and it happens every so often. It's kind of repeated news at this point, but it still needs to be reported on because it is very significant. We do get a little bit more of a glimpse into what they are doing and what they are actually focused on when it comes to this new payment system that is based on cryptocurrency and blockchain. And I also want to mention the fact that this is putting an immense amount of pressure on every single other nation that is not looking at crypto and blockchain in a very innovative way. So now they have to look at it and they have to address all of the efficiencies behind it and say, all right, well, if the Brics are moving forward on this, we can't stand by and let this happen. We also need to innovate with it. Now, I personally think that the US has already been innovating with this technology. There's a lot of players around FedNow that are, vendors around this technology, like Volante, for an example, that do have access to Ripple with RippleNet, and of course XRP. But regardless, I do think that this is really going to kick things up into high gear and really get the needle moving around crypto and blockchain-based technology in terms of full-on adoption around specific nations. This is pressure applied. But over here, big shout out to Smoke Dog. We have Brics Journal cites the feature of the XRP ledger as an example of what their new payment system could be based on. And if we actually look at this, we could actually see a few quotes here. So in 2019, the Brics Business Council formed a working group studying the possibility of creating a special trade facilitating Brics cryptocurrency to ensure uninterrupted paperless document flow. And by the way, the Brics have been moving against the US for a very long time. In fact, Russia, if we go back to 2010, after the 2008 financial crisis, guess what they were looking at? Gold. They were stockpiling gold back in 2010. And the Brics nations have been doing that as well since 2010. So they were already ahead of the game. In fact, in order to achieve the Brics goal of de-risking trade settlements in national currency, there is no need to create a specialized cryptocurrency for document flow. Funds needed to execute the contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. XRP Ledger 2020. So they actually quoted this, and that's a big deal. Even though it's just one sentence, it's still a spotlighted piece, and it's a cited feature of the XRP Ledger, which is something to really think about. But also, this is not the only thing that is tied back to Ripple or even the XRP Ledger. Big shout out to Matthew Lin Y. Like I said, back in 2022, we were looking at this closely and examining the connections back to Ripple and XRP. The new Brics Pay and NIPS will be a digital currency payment network. This is the SWIFT alternative non-American payment network. This is very interesting. So when we look at this, right, here's a breakdown of the Brics Pay application. They give an example around all of this. And then also over here, we have a little bit of a breakdown of it. And this new unit of account in the middle is definitely interesting. And when we look at the entire process here, it kind of screams XRP. Now, I'm not going to say that this is XRP guaranteed or anything like that. No, I'm just saying that it does look very, very similar. Also over here, we have a little bit more of a breakdown of the SDR basket and the new unit of account, which I don't have to be the one to tell you that we just recently broke down how a new SDR could very well work. And the thing that's interesting here is that we actually have the European Union here, China, Japan, the United States, and even the United Kingdom. And like I said, if we go back into the SDR theory, this is exactly how it would work. You have CBDCs, you have gold backing it, and then you also have a decentralized bridge currency, aka XRP, that is bridging all of it. Very interesting time to be alive. Over here, geographical layout of settlements through the new international payment system, NIPS. And here we have the full breakdown of the router cloud. We have everything in place around this on how it would work. And then also down here, we have still a lot of questions, but many XRP enabled wallet or e-wallet potential. And here we have a breakdown of the NIPS Brics Pay system main components. And again, look at how interesting this looks versus what we know around XRP and around even the e-wallets that are enabled with XRP. It's definitely interesting. And we've broken some of these down, like for an example, Alipay in the past. Now, again, none of this confirms anything around XRP, but one thing that I will say is that we've broken down all the connections to a lot of the BRICS nations that Ripple has had partnerships with or any exposure to. Almost every single one of them checks the box. But also over here, we have Brics Pay has been in development for years. It is a blockchain digital asset ecosystem, which means, guess what? It doesn't have to be just XRP. And, you know, one thing that I will say is that everyone is going to say, oh, it's not XRP, it's not XRP, it's not XRP. Like I said, this is death by 1,000 cuts for the US dollar and for the US. Unless they move the needle. That's the big thing to focus on. Also over here, Brics Plus, Ripple Payments, Tranglo, XRP is already connected through the new Brics Plus payments and settlement system by means of other payments partners. Big shout out to Chad Steingraber. Here, Tranglo uses XRP directly and connects UAE's Al Ansari exchange. And here we have Ripple partner Tranglo collaborates with UAE's largest Forex. And if you actually look at this, this is all enabled through on-demand liquidity services, which means XRP does have exposure there. And he's actually quoting this de-dollarization article that I just talked a little bit about in the beginning. But also over here, Ripple Payments, Tranglo, Malaysia. The Malaysian real-time payment settlement system called Do It Now is powered by Tranglo, which uses XRP, and Do It Now connects to Kuwait. Brics Plus UAE connected to Kuwait KFH via XRP. And here we have Do It Now frequently asked questions. And here we have what is Do It Now, what is Do It Now ID, how to register Do It Now ID, and they fully break down everything down here as well regarding Do It Now IDs. All of this is fully centered on digital, and it's kind of interesting on some of the connections back to Ripple and XRP. I think that so many people forget how big of a domino effect there is around the Ripple ecosystem with some of these names like Tranglo. I mean, even Medico, right? Like, look at Medico with some of the biggest institutions out there. You got to really focus on those domino effects because that is exposure, even to XRP. Now, like I said, everyone is focused on, is XRP being utilized around Brics? And right now, we don't have full-on confirmation. And I put out a post back in August, actually, and I said not enough people are realizing the long-term effects of what the Brics is doing / becoming. Not overnight, but gradually, we are seeing a tectonic shift in terms of dominance and power. Mainstream media wants you following nonsense news while they don't put a spotlight on the Brics and the moves being made. And like I said, death by 1,000 cuts. But down here we have stop it. Brics is never going to use XRP. It's like half the XRP community is cheering for communism. And I said, do you think I care if they use XRP? It's not always about XRP or any currency. It's about the change right now. The US dollar as a reserve currency is not working. No reserve currency will work. We need a decentralized global financial system. This is coming. And yes, it is. I've been following this. Follow all the connections. Look at what they are all calling for. And when I say they, I mean the IMF, the World Economic Forum, the BIS, even all of these nations. They are calling for a level the playing field move around the financial system. And we all know that term and where it comes from. Go back in time. Go back to all the way to 2015, 2014. Also over here, we have Brics isn't about creating a new currency. It's a fundamental shift in global alliance. Listen.
You don't need a reserve currency to store money. There's a million things. You can store it in a basket. You can store. I can sell you something in Zimbabwe dollars. A microsecond later, convert them to Japanese yen. So you don't need this big pile of dollars everywhere. And people are talking about the Brics and how, oh, that'll be a stupid currency that'll never get liked. The Brics is not about a currency. I don't think the people who talk about the Brics and currency have it right. The Brics is about a fundamental shift in alliances in the world. You've got 20 countries, including Arabs, saying, we're going to go with Russia and China.
You take the Brics seriously.
That is a fundamental.
You're watching them and saying they mean business.
Well, not just that. There are 20 countries saying we're not aligning with the United States now. We're aligning with Russia, China, right? India.
Yeah.
This is a revolt. You don't need a reserve currency.
And, you know, he's 100% right when it comes to you don't need a reserve currency to store money. But also, once you have instant settlement, you don't need a reserve currency at all. And this is why we are seeing such a big shift in the global landscape around payments. When we look at what is going on around the monetary system, things are changing at a rapid pace. And Brics continue to expand. Brics will accept new countries into the alliance in 2024. Brics to control 37% of the world's GDP, west to fall below 28%. 25 new countries have applied to join Brics in 2024. They continue to move the needle. Also over here, and this is the last thing that I'm including in this video, and it's something that I have recycled quite a bit in videos, but it's still very prominent to know today. Breaking. South Africa's leader confirms that the Brics have reached agreement on the expansion process. We have reached agreement on the guiding principles, standards, criteria, and procedures of the Brics expansion process. Significant changes in motion. Too many are blinded by the false idea of de-dollarization and the downfall of the US to see the real play at hand. We are seeing a complete realignment of our global financial system. Remember that the United Nations, dating back to 2019, said that they are pushing for a new global reserve regime based on a supranational currency made up of a basket of developed nation currencies. Do you think it's a coincidence that we are now seeing a financial war beginning? How many articles have been posted this year talking about de-dollarization and the death of the US dollar? Problem, reaction, solution. This is all part of the game. I've mentioned this countless times. We are witnessing the beginning to the new system dominated by digital utility assets. I hope you have been focused on the real picture. And again, when we talk about what the United Nations has been calling for, right? Even going back to 2019, that supranational currency made up of a basket of developed nation currencies, guess what the Brics are looking at as well? And they have been focused on this going all the way back into 2022 when we started to see sanctions heating up. Here you have the SDR basket. This, in my opinion, is the most prominent thing that I have been focused on around what the Brics are doing, because it aligns perfectly with what the United Nations is telling us. It also aligns perfectly with what the IMF has been telling us, the BIS, the World Bank, all of them. But the question is, what's going to be at that center point? What's going to settle all of this? What is going to allow for the frictions to be removed and for instant settlement to be realized in between any two currencies at any time of the day and have that liquidity on demand, I'll let you guys come up with the conclusion on that. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.